All right. LDBC. This is your boy, Coach Sheldon Harrison. You're live on the Coach Sheldon Harrison Combat Sports Show Live. Okay, guys, the coach is caught in traffic. The coach is caught in traffic, and what the coach is going to do, he's going to produce a video for y'all. And that's just how that is. Okay, Angela Overkill Hill, just got to reading the article, and shout out to Bloody Elbow. She said a couple of things. Half of the article, I completely agree with what Angela Hill had to say. I agree with half of that, and the other half, I disagree. I'm going to talk about what I agree with first, okay? Angela Hill, she made a statement, and finally, more of these fighters, they're coming out, and they are actually speaking their mind, and they're saying what's really on their mind when it pertains to the UFC, and their business practices. More of these fighters, they're coming out. And I'm not going to say that I'm the main reason why, but on this channel, I know I've been pushing a lot of these fighters to get up off their ass and let's really, say what you need to say about this organization. And, Angela Hill was saying that, the promotional pushes, it don't matter, it's not based on merit, and I agree with her. I agree with her 100%. It's not based on merit. Because if that's the case, then, why is Raquel Pennington, still ranked under Holly Holm? I just don't understand that. Why is Raquel Pennington ranked under Holly Holm? I mean, if you really want to talk about merit, why? And I know Rocky's been injured and she's recovering from an injury, but still, Rocky is on a 4-fight win streak, and I feel as if Raquel Pennington has earned that title shot. Definitely. And if Raquel Pennington don't get that title shot, I'm gonna figure out who I gotta call, and I'm gonna get these people on the phone, and I'm gonna start asking these questions like, why the hell is Rocky not getting his title shot? Why is Holly getting a title shot? Why? And I am going to ask. But I agree with Angela Overkill Hill when she say that it's not based on merit, and she's right. It's not based on merit. It's based on how you look. And Angela Hill, you ain't stupid. You know what? You probably can't say what you really want to say, but the coach will. I'll say it like I say it. Yeah, it's based on your complexion. I mean, straight up. I don't care how prim and proper you talk. I don't care what you do. Okay? If you can't identify with the UFC fan base, you're not going to get pushed. You see, let me tell you what you need to do, Angela Hill, in this situation when you want to get pushed. A good example is Joanna Pena. And I'm just going to be honest. I give Joanna a hard time sometimes. I do. But I would love to interview her, because me and her, we'll be arguing. I bet that'll be a fun interview. It'll be entertaining, because me and her go back and forth. I'm going to see if I can get that done. But you need to do what Joanna Pena doing. They ain't going to push her either. And Joanna Pena, before she got defeated by Valentina Shevchenko, she was on a 4-fight win streak. But they wasn't pushing her either. Joanna had to go, and she had to be a mouthpiece. That's what she had to do. And, she did a couple of ads that was distasteful, but, she did what she had to do. That's just how that is. That's just the way that is. And Joanna Pena was giving interviews. I mean, she was running her mouth, and you know what? The girl was selling herself. But Joanna said it too. They weren't going to push her, and they'll never push somebody like you. They're not going to push people like Joanna. They're not going to push y'all. It's not going to happen. You got to create for yourself. Like Tyron Woodley. He had it. I mean, he was his own mouthpiece. Like Kevin Lee. He's his own mouthpiece. That's just how it is. That's how it is. That's the culture. That's the climate of the UFC. And you in it now. So either you're going to deal with that culture climate, or you just not going to be a fighter in the UFC. I really come to understand that the UFC, they tend to cater to their fan base, which, I'm sorry, people like you, people like Juliana, y'all don't have a complexion. And that's as real as I can get. Coach, you already talking about race? I'm real. See, I'm real. I'm going to tell it like I said. You guys always ask me, Coach, don't you want to grow your channel? No, not really. I don't care if I grow this channel. I don't care. I do this for the love of the sport, but I'm going to keep it real. I will never be controlled. And I'm going to say what I say. You don't have the complexion, Angela Hill. So you got to make your own noise. You got to do it. But see, now, not only that, because so many people, they always talking about how Conor McGregor get all this stuff. Listen, I get some people don't like Conor McGregor. But you got to say, the man talk his junk, but he's backed it up. I'm sorry. You can say he ducked a lot of people. That's fine. But everybody that done put in front of him, he done found a way to beat him. Nate Diaz, Nate Diaz was beating him in that second fight, and guess what? He found a way to win. So, I don't know. You can say he ducked Khabib. Yep, maybe it's true. But he ain't fought Khabib. If he ever fight Khabib, and if he find a way to win, I'm just saying, far as right now, as Conor McGregor goes, he's found a way to win who they put in front of him. I'm not talking about who he ducked, I'm talking about who. So, I mean, hey, if you're going to be a mouthpiece, then be a mouthpiece, but you got to back it up. See, here go the problem. When you fought Jessica Andrade, everybody and their mama was telling you, this girl is susceptible to jabs. And I'm going to tell you, you should have looked at every single video, on how somebody defeated Jessica Andrade. How? I mean, you should have been looking at videos of Amari Reyno, what she did. I mean, Jessica Andrade, you know what? When you look at her fight, there really is no secret. Joanna Jedrzejczyk laid out a blueprint. I'm talking about laid the blueprint out, put it right there in everybody's face. Now, I realize this is after the events, after you fought her, okay? But she laid the blueprint out. But see, people, even before you took that fight, they was telling you, put a jab in that girl's face. Put a jab in Jessica Andrade's face. She can't handle jabs. And to be honest, Joanna Jedrzejczyk used 25% of her ability to beat Jessica Andrade. Joanna Jedrzejczyk didn't even max out to beat her. She made it easy. And Joanna Jedrzejczyk kept it very, very simple. And you know what? She beat Jessica Andrade. That was easy work. And I'm not a Joanna Jedrzejczyk fan. I'll never be a fan. But I tell you, I recognize skill. I recognize skill when I see it. And when you get into these fights of these magnitudes, are you studying your opponents? And I'm not talking about looking at just a few tapes here and there. I'm talking about, are you studying your opponents? Are you legitimately putting time in on that film? Because I know that it's stuff that you got to do. I know that you're on Twitch and you got to get on there because that's part of your income and they pay you to do that. But you know what? Some of that time can be better well spent. Some of that time can be spent. Okay, some of it can be spent, on you actually getting in there and honing in on your craft on some of these fights that you got coming up. Now, I disagree. You called out, you called out Joanna Jedrzejczyk. And I roll with you, Angela, but I can't roll with you on that one. I'm sorry. I don't think you got the skill set to defeat Joanna Jedrzejczyk. You can call out all you want to, but you ain't getting the fight. You got to prove yourself. You ain't getting the fight. See, that's not how it works. You got to prove yourself. And unfortunately, you got to show and prove. You got to fight Ashley Yoder. And that's not going to be enough to get you up that ladder. You're going to have to prove yourself to get up that ladder. And then and only then when you get to showcase your skill set against the best in the division. That's Joanna Jedrzejczyk. Like her or don't like her, that's the truth. That's how it is. But you defeating her at this point, no. Because you ain't studied the game. You ain't studied her enough. And I'm just being real and honest. Could you defeat her? Yeah, this is MMA. Everybody that step into that octagon, there's a chance that they can get their ass whooped. You bet that you do have a small chance. But I tell you what, you're going to have to get to a point where it is time that you're going to have to study. And I mean, not just study. No. I'm not talking about just study and look at it. No, you got to really dissect Joanna Jedrzejczyk's game. And that's got to be your goal. Every time you fight, every time you step into the gym, you're fighting Joanna Jedrzejczyk. Because you've got to understand the mind of a champion. See, yeah, you fought a good fight against Jessica Andrade, but you lost. You fought the wrong game plan. I mean, you got a lot of heart. But, and even your corner said, put the jab in her face. They knew. Everybody knew except you. Put the jab in her face. That girl can't handle jabs. If you ever fight her again and you keep the jab in her face, she can't beat you. Even if she try to rush in and take you down, she's going to be unsuccessful because she's going to be thwarted by the jab. I'm just trying to tell you. Yes, I agree. They're only going to promote certain people. And unfortunately, you, Juliana, and it's a lot of y'all. Cyborg, y'all ain't got the darn complexion. You're not going to get promoted. That's just how that is. You not getting promoted. They ain't going to push you. They not going to promotionally push. They just not going to happen. Just get that out your head. Do it yourself. Be your own promotion. You got to get out there. You got to get your feet wet. You got to go and you got to interview with as many entities as you can. You got to do it. And you got to get out there and do what Juliana do. Juliana is out there using her mouthpiece to sell herself. She doing it. I'm going to tell you, every time I make a video about Juliana Pena, I swear, I get a lot of views. Only because people want to know what this girl done did. But she's doing that because she has to self-promote. Because I was feeling Juliana when she said, I'm winning. But, it's amazing how, Holly Holman at the time, Holly Holman was ranked ahead of her. And, Juliana Pena couldn't understand why. And neither could I. Neither could I. But that's the topic for another video. So I agree with a lot of what you said. Calling out Joanna Jedrzejczyk. No, you're not getting that fight. You're going to have to prove yourself. You can't lose. And unfortunately, you had to get in there with Jessica Andrade. Which I thought, your first fight back in the UFC, they didn't give you somebody, simple or tune up. No, they're not going to do that to you. But the fight that you got coming up against Ashley Yoder, very winnable. You can win that fight, and then you can use this fight as a tune-up fight to help you get to your next fight. But you guys tell me what you think. This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. I'm done. What are you waiting on? Subscribe to the best women's MMA platform on YouTube.